I'm pretty darn excited. I'm gonna make a video now, all the things that need to be done around here, and there's plenty. I am wearing my little fleecy hat, super excited, and I've got my scarf, so I'm ready to be all warm when I get off the airplane. A good idea of what I'm in for when I return. So this is sort of my storage space, and I keep all my findings from the beach, and I keep all my supplies for fixing things that I need in here. A lot of art supplies in here as well. So this is sort of like my treasure chest of things. So obviously there's a huge amount of cleanup that needs to be done in here just to get organized. And I'd love to organize all of my tiles and make another big mural when I return. Really, really, really messy in here. I want to organize like all my wood bits and all my metal bits and all my ceramic that I found on the beach. But there is a little bit of a problem. Oh, spider webs. Spider webs. All right, take a look at this. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So this is a crate that I took off the street, and I built like little shelving units for a lot of my tiles and stuff in here. These are all my tiles. This here's, oh, yikes. This here is some shade cloth that I had all upstairs, and now it's in a big garbage bag, so I need to figure out what to do with that. Here's my wheelbarrow, and I don't really want it stolen, so I need to get everything out of there and put it on the porch, or actually inside my house. So that's something else that needs to be done, definitely before I leave. There is a lot of weeds. Hopefully somebody is gonna clean my tree here every day, or it's gonna be like slush when I return. Oh my God, look at all my cacao. I should probably pick that cacao in the next 2 days if I'm gonna use it. More overgrown path. Just so much overgrown path. See this big, so I have to put that over the wall definitely before I leave. So let's go upstairs and check out what it is that I have to look at here. Last night the guys came and took all the mats, so yay! It's actually beautiful. Left the lights on. Those lights have been on all night. There we go. Whoa! I'm gonna take that plastic down and move everything in the middle, just sort of clean it all up. Ooh, this is another problem I have. That looks like black mold to me. How does that look to you? That's not working anymore. So that whole thing needs to be replaced. I'm not even sure if there's electricity that gets into there. I think there might be in one of those sockets, but not both. But this is an ongoing issue. Look how they made it with like a slit that moisture and bugs could get caught into. To me, this was the most back-assward way of making a column here up to the roof. But that has to be dealt with somehow. Not exactly sure how. It's not so bad in the other corners. A little bad. So the next major issue that I have up here is this. I had sort of curtains that I hung up on here, and they kind of rubbed against this, and so it's caused all this pitting and rust and erosion. So this really needs to be all grinded down and then repainted. And sort of that's the worst one, but not all of them are so bad. Here's one that's not as bad. It's better that I just can't keep holding this and show you guys everything, so I'm just gonna get my little Toronto thing ready. Okay, so here, as you can see, look at that. Not so splendid. This requires some money and some labor. What else? Well, up here, water comes in through there. And so eventually, if we wanted to make this place more usable, I would like to cover that whole area. And it's also on the other side here, and cover this whole area. And so the water won't come in. I also need to replace this fan, and all the lights are kind of rusted out. That one does not work. These two do work. And the fans are needing some loving care, obviously. I don't think they're working. I think only one fan is working. This fan is working and this fan is not. So I think I'm gonna take this downstairs. I think that's about it to discuss up here. It would really be nice to cover these all. I'd like to make an apartment up here, but I don't think that the roof, the way they constructed it, is correct. I wasn't here during the building, unfortunately, and nobody could understand my concerns. But it turns out I was probably more right in my concerns than everybody had anticipated. I think in all the years, you know, you kind of learn that everyone's got their idea of the best thing for you, but it doesn't always apply because they're sort of using their own ideas of their life and what they'd be able to do, and that's not necessarily what everybody else can do. Patchies! Okay, so the other thing that is a little bit of a concern to me, or what I have to pay attention to, is this. All these bars, they are fairly rusty and not looking so good. So this needs to be all cleaned up. And there was one day that I was trying to clean these, and I got attacked by African bees. They were actually under, I'll show you. Okay, so they were actually underneath this roof, and there was one of the biggest nests that they've ever seen. And they had this massive nest under 4 columns of this roof going all the way to the peak at the top. And I was here painting my oil paint, and there was some buzzing going around, and I was like, ooh, these bees don't want me here working. So I started to clean up so that I could get away from this area, and I was bzz, 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 like angry bugs all around my head. So I went to get some turpentine so I could clean my brush. So I went out here sort of into the middle of the driveway area to clean my brush. They were irritated by that, and they started following me to clean my brush, and one landed on my hand like this, and it stung me. I think that there's like a tagging system. If one bee stings you once, that there's like an endorphin or hormones or something that's put inside you, and then all the bees know that they need to attack. They did. All of a sudden I had a swarm of bees around my head, ran to that end of the yard screaming, flailing my head, and they stuck with me. So then I ran back in here, and I ran into my house, and I slammed the door, and all I could keep hearing was buzzing around my head. So I'm screaming and buzzing, ah! And I slam the door like this, and I run into the bathroom here because I think, okay, what I really need to, and I'm gonna jump in the shower and I'm gonna get water on me. So I ran in here really fast, and I jumped in the shower and realized, oh my God, this isn't working, this is too late. So I jumped out of the shower and I jumped into my bed, and I started to roll around on my bed underneath the covers, and I did that until I didn't hear any buzzing anymore. This was the last day of the year, so actually I ended up going out for New Year's. I have pictures of me with bites on me. So I only got bit about 9 times, and there was all these dead bees inside my sheets. So that was my bee stinging story. Okay, what else do I need to do? Oh yeah, the washing machine. I need to take that inside. The weeds gotta go. I'm not quite sure how, but the weeds gotta go. What else do we have to address? Here's another thing. This tap, kind of, that's maximum. Not so bad. It's one of my better taps, but it kind of comes out, actually it was better, it's gotten better, but it kind of comes out like sideways. There's something in there that's clogging, so I probably should replace that. There's a lot of, the water here is very hard, and so I often find like little white bits inside my water, which is like lime deposits or something. I'm going back upstairs because I realize there's one other problem upstairs that needs to be addressed. It's something that I probably should deal with before I go. I think this is leaking. I thought it was leaking. Seems pretty dry. It's not bad. This water's from something else, I guess. The water didn't turn off, so I just attached this hose. So the water comes out through here, and the water doesn't actually turn off, because if I turn the water off, then the faucet starts to leak. If I keep the water on, then the stop is right here. The other thing is this here. This thing no longer works, so no water comes through this tap anymore. That would be nice to get fixed. Instead, I just use this. There's the other thing. Let's go back downstairs and address several other issues. Okay. All right, so where were we? So we covered that. These fans also need fixing and replacing. They do not work any longer. I think above this false ceiling, there's a lot of electrical issues that should probably be dealt with. This fan no longer works. Also, regarding this roof area, take a look. As you can see, there's a lot of water mark and other problems. Here, this side is even worse. Let me show you. So when I had this house built, I had in the plans that all this here was supposed to be block. So the whole house was supposed to be concrete block with these missing areas here. Unfortunately, I wasn't here, so they made all of this stuff fiber wall. So, fiber wall. That was not what I paid for. But, so that has to be sort of replaced. As you can see, the whole house needs to be painted. I do have a couple of things of paint down here that haven't been used in forever, so I'd really like to take some time. Again, it can't be done in the rainy season, but it's another thing that I'm gonna do. Sink number 2. This sink. This is the cold water. It doesn't work anymore. So it was just leaking and leaking. I tried to take it apart and put in another washer, but they don't sell these washers here. They don't sell these parts. So I just assembled it back together and I no longer use it. This one is the hot water and it works fine, except I don't keep the hot water tank on because it's busted. So if I use the hot water for too long, the hot water heater is underneath here, and basically water just starts to pour out all over the place. So what I do is there's my fuse box. You can see one is pushed over, so that's where the hot water is. So every time I take a shower, I flip this way, I take my hot shower, I jump out of the shower real quick so that I don't hurt my tank, and I flip it back. And there you go. So this is my hot water tap that actually has cold water coming out. Right after my shower, there's hot water. So I gotta let the hot water go through the system, through all the pipes and come out. So I can get hot water out of here as long as it's right after my shower. Okay, this sink works. So I'm happy about my bathroom sink working. The other thing is that sinks here, all my sinks are stainless steel, and they all get this like hard water deposit that's impossible to take off. And I don't know if like you can't get CLR here. I need something like that because I've tried like vinegar and baking soda and hard scrubbing and a whole bunch of things. Actually, it's just like that in my kitchen sink too. Take a look. I seem to have gone blue. Why do I look blue? Anyways, I've gone blue. Unfortunately, I dropped this camera and I was like, oh my God, but I think it's still working. All right, so the shower. I told you guys about my shower situation, that I have to turn the water on, but there's another situation in here. I'm just gonna lean forward. Take a look at my water spout. I don't have the little thing that goes, where is it? I don't even have it here anymore. I don't have the strainer part. I don't know, the top part, the bottom part of the shower head. Take a look. Yeah, so basically I shower like a tika. When I first moved to Costa Rica, when I lived in that 9 from my Grasshopper channel, all the girls would take shower in their hotel room and they would take off the top of the shower head and they would tie a little rag on top of there and have it hang. So the water would pour off the rag instead of it coming and boom, boom, boom out of the tank. It just comes down this rag. And a lot of the girls like to shower like that. What else can I show you? Yeah, I gotta deal with a lot of that. Painting needs to be done in here. There's just not enough room for everything. That is sort of where I'm at right now. And I'm sure that there's some other things that I've forgotten. So I will add those when I discover them to show you. Okay, so I just thought of another thing. My floor, you see that? Okay, well, yeah. Well, I love the blue floor. I really love it. It's kind of like watercolor. However, it's kind of chipping. When there's bare concrete exposed, it seems to get very dusty and very dirty. So this floor has become kind of dusty and dirty, but thank God you can't see the dust and the dirt so well. But I would like to get like, I don't know, shiny blue flat tile. Ooh, that would be nice.